GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, I'm CJ Waterhouse. We'll start with Lachine's West Notre-Dame Street revamp being delayed after a merchant assessment, then look at Les Suprêmes eyeing a spot in the new women's synchronized skating event for the 2030 Winter Games. Also, a transitional housing project opens for women experiencing homelessness. Over to you, Jeff.
Nurse John, a local comedian, will headline two separate performances at the Just for Laughs festival this weekend, scheduled for Friday evening and Saturday night.
The Friday show will take place at the St. Joseph Theatre, beginning at 7:30, featuring a mix of medical-themed sketches and audience interaction.
Saturday's performance is slated for the Place des Arts Main Hall, starting at 8 o'clock, and includes a special tribute to classic Quebec comedy legends.
We've got the comedy lineup, tickets are selling fast, and the audience is eager, lots to get to, so let's begin. Good morning, Montreal.
The Lachine borough announced today that the long-awaited redevelopment of West Notre-Dame Street has been put on hold. A fresh assessment of local merchants' needs, ordered by borough officials, revealed concerns that were not addressed in the original plan, prompting a pause in construction. The project, first proposed 3 decades ago, was slated to modernize storefronts, improve pedestrian access, and upgrade utilities along the historic corridor. With the new study underway, officials say they will incorporate the findings before resuming work, though no revised timeline has been set. Local business owners expressed disappointment but welcomed the opportunity to have their requirements formally evaluated. The delay adds to a series of setbacks that have kept the street's transformation unfinished after 30 years of anticipation. The council plans to hold a public workshop next month to gather additional input before finalizing the revised design.
Les Suprêmes are setting their sights on the inaugural women's synchronized skating competition slated for the 2030 Winter Games. The Montreal team, already a staple on the international circuit, says the new Synchro 9 event offers a chance to showcase the precision and artistry that define the sport. Officials added the discipline as part of 16 fresh sports designed to boost gender parity across the Olympic program. With the Games still several years away, the squad is intensifying training at the Bell Center ice rink, working on new formations that meet the 9-skater format. Coach Marie-Claude Dubois highlighted the importance of early preparation, noting that the team hopes to qualify through the upcoming World Championships and secure a spot on the national roster for the 2030 Olympics.
An anti-mining coalition launched an education campaign this morning in the Landière region, targeting local residents with information on the environmental impacts of a proposed exploratory mining site. The effort, organized by community groups and volunteers, includes public workshops, printed fact sheets, and online webinars focused on potential water contamination, habitat disruption, and effects on the area's popular lakes and cottage tourism. Organizers say residents have expressed concern that mining could jeopardize the region's outdoor recreation economy and natural heritage. The coalition plans to hold additional sessions at community centers throughout the week and will distribute materials to schools and municipal offices. Officials from the Provincial Ministry of Environment have not yet issued a formal response to the coalition's claims. The campaign aims to equip citizens with scientific data before any mining permits are considered.
Former emergency room nurse turned internet star Nurse John is set to headline 2 comedy nights at this year's Just for Laughs festival. The shows will take place at the historic Salle Wilfrid Pelletier on July 24. CBC Montreal reported that John de la Cruz, who built a massive following sharing hospital humor online, will bring his quick-witted medical-themed routine to a live audience for the first time since his viral videos launched. Festival spokesperson Deborah Arbeck said the lineup highlights the event's commitment to fresh voices from the city. Fans can expect a blend of sharp observation and heartfelt anecdotes, with the nurse comedian promising a night that mixes bedside stories with classic stand-up flair. Tickets are on sale now, and seats are expected to fill quickly as the city's biggest comedy weekend approaches.
Yesterday, Montreal police executed a raid on a commercial property in Beauport, Quebec, as part of a coordinated effort to dismantle an alleged drug trafficking network. Officers entered the premises in the early hours, seizing a substantial quantity of controlled substances, assorted firearms, and cash, while taking several individuals into custody. Police spokesperson said the operation follows a series of recent enforcement actions targeting similar operations across the region. Investigators are continuing to process evidence and interview witnesses, and the inquiry remains active. No injuries were reported, and authorities have not released the identities of those detained. The raid underscores a broader strategy by law enforcement to intensify pressure on organized drug distribution channels in the province. The investigation remains underway into the evening, with forensic teams still examining the site. Officials indicated that additional raids are planned in the coming days as part of the intensified campaign against narcotics trafficking.
Up next, we'll dive into new transitional housing for homeless women launching in Montreal, plus more headlines. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's dive straight into today's headlines, then Jeff Laflamme will take us through the local stories you need to hear.
Lachine Brewery announced the opening of a new transitional housing complex for women experiencing homelessness. The development, unveiled early this morning, adds a dedicated set of units aimed at easing the path to stable living. Officials said the project is part of a broader municipal effort to expand services for vulnerable women and to curb the city's growing homelessness numbers. Community leaders view the effort as a model for future interventions. Residents will receive on-site support from Lachine Brewery staff, including counseling, job training assistance, and connections to health resources. The initiative follows recent policy reviews that highlighted the need for gender-specific solutions. By providing safe temporary accommodation, the program hopes to reduce the time women spend on the streets and improve long-term outcomes. The launch marks a concrete step in the city's strategy to address homelessness among women.
After more than 3 weeks without a game, CF Montreal stepped onto the pitch yesterday hoping to turn the tide against Toronto FC. The long break left the squad eager to shake off rust and prove they can compete as the MLS season moves forward. Fans packed the stadium, keen to see the home side snap the recent slump. Coach emphasized the need to regain confidence and sharpen the attack, while the visitors arrived ready to defend their own standing. Though the result remains undecided, the match offered a chance for both clubs to reset after a quiet stretch. Players on both sides showed intensity, trading chances early and setting the stage for a decisive second half. The outcome will shape the next few weeks of the campaign for both teams.
An exciting new exhibition has opened at Parc Jean-Drapeau, celebrating the legacy of Zhel Villeneuve, the legendary Canadian Formula One driver. Titled Salut Zhel, A History of Speed in Montreal, the 2-year showcase runs from July 2026 through July 2028 and is already drawing families and racing enthusiasts. Visitors can explore interactive displays that trace Villeneuve's career, see restored racing memorabilia, and experience multimedia installations that convey the thrill of high-speed competition. The exhibit's location on the island makes it a convenient weekend outing, with nearby green spaces and ferry access adding to its appeal. Organizers say the program aims to highlight how the city's passion for speed has shaped its cultural fabric, offering a fresh perspective on a beloved local hero. School groups are also scheduling tour, allowing students to link engineering concepts with real-world history.
The operating rooms at a local hospital are now broadcasting complex eye procedures straight to trainees' screens. Starting yesterday, a senior ophthalmic surgeon began a live video feed that lets residents watch each step of cataract and retinal surgeries in real time. The stream runs through the week, giving aspiring doctors a front-row view without leaving their classrooms. Hospital officials say the technology bridges the gap between theory and practice, especially when hands-on experience is limited. Participants can ask questions through a chat function and the surgeon answers as the case progresses. This approach mirrors a growing trend in Quebec's medical centers where live feeds are becoming a staple of advanced training. For students, the immediate access to a real operating theater promises a deeper understanding of delicate eye anatomy and technique.
Iconic Oka cheese brand, a staple on Quebec tables for more than 130 years, is currently being acquired by the French dairy conglomerate Lactalis. The deal announced yesterday afternoon marks the latest shift in ownership for a product that many families recognize from local markets and family gatherings. Lactalis, which ranks among the globe's largest cheese producers, says the acquisition will preserve Oka's traditional recipes while expanding its distribution network. Officials note that the transition could affect the plant's workforce and supply chains that feed regional dairy farms. As the transaction proceeds, consumers can expect the familiar orange-capped wheels to remain on store shelves, though future branding may reflect the new parent company. The sale underscores a broader trend of international firms entering Quebec's specialty food sector.
Now let's turn to the forecast and see what this afternoon holds for Montreal.
A westward jet stream squeezes dry air, pushing a weak high aloft and keeping rain at bay. On this date, Montreal once scorched to 33.7 degrees in 2018, a brief spike during the lingering heat wave that followed the record-breaking July of 2017. The chill side of history fell to 10.4 degrees in 2015, when an Arctic surge slipped through the Great Lakes corridor, dumping Arctic air deep into the province. Normal July highs hover around 24 degrees with lows near 15, so today's 22-degree reading sits comfortably between those extremes. The live radar shows a narrow band of showers marching eastward across the southeastern suburbs. Echoes are strongest just west of the St. Lawrence, moving at a brisk pace under the influence of the fast westward jet. By the top of the hour, the cells will have crossed downtown, and the city will clear within the next 30 minutes, leaving a clean sky for the afternoon. At noon, Montreal sits under a mostly clear sky with a temperature of 23 degrees and a humidity of 68%. A near-average high-pressure system is rising, sealing in dry air and suppressing any lingering convection. Overhead, a swift westward jet stream at 217 kilometers per hour channels the upper-level flow, keeping the atmosphere stable and preventing new moisture from arriving. The UV index sits at 6, and winds will gust up to 31 kilometers per hour from the west, feeling brisk on exposed shoulders. No weather alerts are in force. Temperatures will climb gently to a high of 24 degrees before dipping to 13 this evening as the sun sets near 8:39. Looking ahead, Friday brings a mild high-pressure ridge, keeping skies overcast and temperatures steady around 26 degrees with a low near 13. Saturday's ridge weakens as a shortwave trough approaches from the west, delivering light rain and a 75% chance of precipitation. Highs will hold at 24 and lows rise to 17. Sunday returns to clear skies under a rebuilt ridge, with a comfortable high of 24 and a low of 16. Monday repeats the overcast pattern, holding a high of 25 and a low of 16 as the jet stream nudges northward. Tuesday sees the jet swing back south, pulling a deeper moist plume that produces heavy rain and a 45% chance, while temperatures climb to 25 with a low near 19. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, traffic updates, today's lineup of events, and a look at MTY Food Group's restaurant closures. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Nothing major to report on the road network this morning. All primary corridors are flowing freely. Autoroute 15 runs at normal speed, with no slowdowns near the Descartes interchange. Boulevard St. Laurent and Rue Shai Arbrook show smooth traffic, and the downtown core is clear of bottlenecks. A brief lane reduction for street cleaning on Rue St. Denis causes no measurable delay. No accidents, no construction, no rain to slow anyone down. On the transit side, the metro and bus system are operating on schedule, with the Green Line maintaining its usual headway. Riders can expect the same punctual service through the afternoon. Expect a modest buildup on the southbound lanes of Autoroute 24 around the St. Lawrence River Bridge afternoon as commuter traffic returns from the business district. In short, your commute looks clear, so you can focus on the next meeting rather than a traffic jam.
Just for Laughs and Off, JFL Comedy Festival lights up the city, running from July 15 through 26 with hundreds of comedians taking the stage across Montreal. If you need a laugh break, this is the place to be. Next, Cirque du Soleil's Echo exhibition is on display now at Time Out Market Montreal, inviting visitors to step behind the curtain and see the magic moments that never make it to the main show. It's a quick visual feast for anyone who loves the circus's imagination. Finally, the unauthorized musical parody titled Heated Rivalry offers 6 staged readings at Studio St. Denis from July 17 to 19. It's a cheeky off-Broadway take on Rivalry that will tickle theater fans and anyone who enjoys a good satire. So whether you're craving comedy, circus wonder, or a witty musical twist, Montreal's cultural calendar has something to spark your Thursday. And now here's Jason with sports.
Opening the sports segment with the Habs contract talk and upcoming season schedule. The Montreal Canadiens face a contract decision as forward Josh Anderson approaches the final year of his deal, according to Habs' Eyes on the Prize. The outlet argues the club should act promptly to secure his services before free agency looms, preserving depth on the wing. CBC Sports NHL notes that the 2026-27 NHL season kicks off on September 29 with 2 all-Canadian clashes. The Montreal Canadiens will travel to Toronto to open against the Maple Leafs, while the Edmonton Oilers meet the Vancouver Canucks later that night, highlighting a national showdown. Habs' Eyes on the Prize confirms the Canadiens begin their campaign on opening night, Tuesday, September 29, in Toronto against a revamped Maple Leafs squad. Their first home game follows on October 3 versus the Pittsburgh Penguins, setting the tone for a road-heavy start.
MTY Food Group, headquartered on St. Laurent, has been a familiar name behind local favorites like Thai Express, Mr. Sub and Manchu Wok. The company announced it will shutter 68 underperforming locations over the next 6 to 9 months after a year of slipping sales and profit. Those restaurants collectively lost more than $10 million, prompting the difficult decision to close doors that have served neighborhood families for years. While the closures will leave gaps in the street-level dining scene, the move also frees space for new concepts and fresh entrepreneurs to reshape the block. MTY's legacy of affordable, multicultural cuisine reminds us that Montreal's flavor is built on bold, community-focused ventures. And later, we'll celebrate Nurse John bringing laughs to 2 Just for Laughs shows, a true feel-good moment for Montreal.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From City Hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMNA for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
Hundreds of Montreal's Spanish community have converged on Club Espagnol in Myland, turning the venue into a spontaneous street party as Spain clinched the World Cup. The celebration has the whole neighborhood buzzing with music, dancing, and flags waving. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks CJ Waterhouse. I'm standing on the wooden floor of Club Espagnol, the lights dimmed enough to let the glow of hundreds of red and gold scarves flicker like a sea of fire. The scent of paella and lemon drinks drifts through the air as a live band strikes the first chords of Y Viva España. Around me, people of all ages sway, some clutching mugs of sangria, others shouting "Allez," in unison as the final whistle blows on the screen overhead. The crowd erupts, fists pounding the wooden tables, strangers hugging and laughing like old friends reunited. A teenage girl in a Barcelona jersey tears up, whispering to her grandmother that she feels as if she's watching the victory from the streets of Madrid. Organizers smile, noting how the wind stitches together 3 generations of the Spanish diaspora here in Myland, turning a modest club into a street party that pulses with pride. This celebration shows how sport can knit together a community far from home, reminding us that home is wherever we cheer together. Carl Dumont, virtually at Club Espagnol.
At the corner of St. Laurent and St. Denis, a bright orange Air Canada van pulled up to a small curbside stop, its doors swinging open for a line of commuters clutching coffee cups and boarding passes. Among them was a young mother juggling a stroller and a toddler's backpack, and an elderly gentleman in a flat cap who had just finished his morning market run. The driver greeted each passenger with a friendly nod, and the van's interior filled with the soft hum of conversation as it rolled onto the boulevard toward Trudeau. What makes this ride special isn't just the smooth glide through downtown streets, it's the price. For a flat $9, travelers glide past the snarls of construction-filled arteries that have long turned the airport trek into a daily ordeal. The shuttle's punctual departures mean families reach the terminal with minutes to spare, and business travelers can breathe easier, knowing the traffic won't eat into their schedule. When the van pulled into the airport parking lot and the mother lifted her child into the terminal, her smile said it all. A simple, affordable ride turned a rushed morning into a moment of calm. It's a reminder that a little connection can make a big difference.
On St. Laurent Boulevard, near Jean Talon Market, a line of shoppers lingered by the produce aisle as morning light filtered through the grocery's glass doors. A mother named Marie compared fresh carrots with a pack of biodegradable wipes, both now displayed without the familiar 2% provincial sales tax that had lingered for years. The provincial government announced yesterday that the Quebec sales tax on a curated list of staple foods and personal care items would be lifted, a move officials say aims to ease the cost of living for families across the province. What makes the change tangible is the sound of a cash register that no longer clicks a tax line for a loaf of rye bread, and the quiet sigh of relief from an elderly couple who can finally buy their regular toothpaste without the extra charge. In the checkout lane, a teenager handed the cashier a reusable bag, noting that the modest savings add up for many households. The removal of the tax turns an everyday purchase into a small, shared victory for Montrealers, reminding us that policy can feel like a warm hand on the shoulder.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the lunch break. It was inspiring to see Les Suprêmes aiming for a spot at the 2030 Winter Olympics. Stay tuned tomorrow for more stories that matter to our city. I'm CJ Waterhouse, wishing you a wonderful afternoon.